4 Yixing Zisha teapots, 4 clays, 4 colors, 4 different personalities.
Hello, Yixing Zisha teapot lovers. I'm Guangcheng. Today we're gonna go through a practical topic. How many natural color could Yixing teapots actually have? And by the word natural, which means not include the blended or adjusted color. And if you are looking for the shortest answer, there are only 3 natural color. Purple, well, you can see it as a purplish brown, red, and yellow. Then nothing more, exactly nothing more, because more colors just developed based on these 3 basic color. Depending, for example, the firing temperature, how much iron content contains of that clay, and so on. Unless you know what, just let me remind, in the digital world, the color we see from screen are all made of by 3 basic color: red, green, and blue. Because the rest of them just come from how intense they are, or how they mix with another colors. And now, if you want to dive into it a little bit more, as an amateur, these 3 basic colors actually just come from 4 types of claystone of purple clay, which is the original material of Yixing teapots that we mentioned in previous video. To remember them better, I just compare them as 4 different characters, and that is the main subject we're gonna talk about today. Purple clay, the most classic Yixing clay, the oldest material used to make Yixing teapots from the very beginning, is the iconic color of Yixing, that deep purplish brown everyone pictures when they think of a real Yixing Zisha teapot. Over time, it settles into something like this kind of a steady, ancient grace, so I call him the steady sage. Because when you see him, when you really spend time with him, it feels like sitting with an old sage. Every word he says hits you like a certain moment of clarity, and you just slow down to listen. Without even noticing, you are drawn into his steady, wise temperament. And with this clay, the teas that match him best are the ones that carry time themselves. Aged, deep, flavorful teas, such as ripe pu'er, heavy oolong, aged white tea. And when you give him a strong, stubborn tea, he just receives it. And somehow, what comes out is smoother than what went in. He just took the edge off. Among the 4 clays, that's one that catches your eyes immediately. Red clay. It's red, it's bright, but not loud. Warm, but not flashy. She reminds me of a musician in an ancient court, playing the guzheng, filling the whole hall with a joyful, light-hearted atmosphere. Now, speaking of a red clay, we have to mention about the most dedicated member of this big family, the Zhu clay. But first, let's understand what Zhu actually means. In Chinese, Zhu is a type of red, but not the ordinary one. It's a red with a hint of orange. Think of the reddest moment of a sunset, or a ripe persimmon ready to fall from the tree. In Chinese culture, the color Zhu also carries meaning of a good fortune, vitality, and protections from evil. It was also the color associated with the mythical phoenix. But why do we call it the most delicate? Because among all the clays, Zhu clay has the highest iron oxide content and also the highest shrinkage rate. And if we speak in plain, that means a teapot made from Zhu clay is the most likely to crack during the firing process. And that's why Zhu clay teapots are always small. Making a larger one is almost impossible because the bigger it is, the more likely it will crack in the kilns. And at this point, I think we can say Zhu clay is like the musician's saucy but brightest younger sister, the dancer. While she brings the most stunning performance, she also comes with really high maintenance. For example, if we brew tea with a Zhu clay teapot in winter and pour boiling water directly into it, it might crack from the sudden heat. So a warming up ratio is necessary with her. You pour warm water over her first, let her adjust a bit, because she's the one, the little girl, who needs to be handled with care. So with this saucy, bright, charming, high-maintenance little girl, we brew the most fragrant tea of all, the oolong tea. Sometimes we call it the perfume of teas. Zhu clay's high crystallization means the clay is dense, almost porcelain-like. It doesn't absorb aromas, it locks them inside the teapot. And that's exactly why Zhu clay teapot is the core teapot of Chaozhou Gongfu tea. It gathers the fragrance, seals it in, and delivers a tasting experience over multiple brews. And that's the most scarce one among the four, green clay. In a previous video, we compared the whole clay mountain to a cake. If ordinary clay is the bread, and the purple clay layer is the fine cream layer, then green clay is even the finest part of it all. It's the cream inside the cream. Its layer is usually only a few centimeters to a dozen centimeters thick. If you dig up an entire mining area, and then the green clay you can extract might only be a small pound. So what does a teapot actually look like made from this scarce clay? It's this creamy beige with a hint of muted grey. Like someone living in a quiet reclusion among the bamboo, low-key, unassuming, but carrying the quiet substance of a true gentleman. I call him the bamboo recluse. And because this clay has excellent breathability, the teas that suit it best are light and fresh ones. Green tea, white tea, yellow tea. The teas as quiet and pure as the recluse himself. All the clays we have talked about so far, they are all independent clays, which means each of them comes from a single type of ore, unmixed with its own origin and identity. But here's an exception: the mixed clay, which is a natural mixture of other clays. The most common combination is purple clay and green clay. People also call this clay as duan clay. Duan means brocade, that rich, colorful woven silk fabric. So the name expresses that this clay is as colorful and varied as fine brocade. The most notable character of the teapot made from this clay is that it's quite sensitive. It shows easily and directly the color of the tea you use. For example, my first teapot was a mixed clay teapot. After only a few weeks of use, it had already remembered a lot of tea memories, every brew leaving its mark on the surface and the inner wall. And that's why I call him this outspoken artist. By mixing other clay's characters, he becomes knowledgeable, but sensitive at the same time. Just like the literati in ancient China, they spoke directly about what they thought without over-worrying about how power or prestige might suppress them. They were so talented, so full of integrity, and so outspoken. This teapot is the same. He doesn't hide what he thinks, and he doesn't hide what you have gave him. So these are the four main natural colors of Yixing teapots. Yet, there are still some special ones out there. Maybe they are truly extremely rare. But some, be careful, they might just another high point with fancy over-top name, used by some dishonest sellers to drive up the price. In future videos, I will help you find people to spot the difference.